Cellos. Welcome back, people. It's the Critic Corp. I am Toke. This is my review today on the Amazon Prime series or Prime, whatever one you want to call it. But yeah, they're Mr. and Mrs. Smith series. Starring Donald Glover and Maya Erskine. It was I wouldn't say it was like fantastic, but it most definitely had its moments. It was pretty mid. It was all right, Fucking again, like I say, they can't come up with anything new. I feel like anymore as far as Hollywood. So they're like piggybacking off their old shit and trying to like reboot it or, turn it into a series, make more money out of it. But it's like, it's just kind of getting sad. But I'm not discrediting this show. It had, like I said, it had good action sequences, good acting from Maya and Donald. They portrayed Mr. and Mrs. Smith very well. It dove more into the relationship aspect of this, of their whole out of the whole series. It showed the trials and tributes, the triumphs of being spies and trying to be happily married at the same time. And it really showed character development between them two as well. So like I said, it's worth the watch. It's just, don't go in with very, very, very high expectations. I'm personally, like I said, I thought this was going to be a movie. I did not know it was going to be a 8-episode series. The way they left off with things too, they kind of left it open for, maybe thoughts on a second season and whatnot. But all around the whole story, plot and whatnot was pretty solid. Pretty two married two people in a marriage fucking goes to work for the CIA. Ends up falling, for each other. In the beginning, it was all strictly business. They end up falling for each other. As the series, proceeds on, things get, tensions get a little high once the real feelings are involved with things, and one thing, one thing escalates to another, and it starts to affect their missions, and they're only allowed to fail so many missions. I believe it was 3. Yeah, 3. And yeah, they did that. They fucking were not successful on every mission, every single mission, and that really fucked them. Especially given, the opportunity that was at stake with them was very high because they set their level, at high risk. They weren't extremely high risk, but they were up there. They were up there because they ended up meeting these other Mr. and Mr. Smiths. I call them the number 2 Smiths or whatnot, and their high risk is super extremely higher than theirs, they only are allowed to um, target other Mr. and Mrs. Smiths, and do a termination once things goes south. And Hi doesn't care to have them around anymore. That's what they called. That's what John and Jane called the person they had to answer to, the supervisor, the soup. That's what the Mr. and Mr. Smith #2 called him, soup. To get all their orders from, their missions and whatnot. But yeah, Hi was on all bullshit and tried, first he tried pinning them against each other to try and eliminate one another, and that shit didn't work. And obviously, like I said, the Smiths, the number 2 Smiths, ended up having to step in and try and finish the job and do the whole finalizing. That's what they call it. Finalize the Smiths. But yeah, that's what they attempted to do, and I think they succeeded. I don't know. Like I said, the way they left off with the whole last episode, you don't know. You don't know if they actually survived or not. If fucking, what's their real name? Michael and Elena really survived or not. Because all they showed was gunfire flashes coming from the window. As they were, ending the final episode. So, it's up in the air. It's really up in the air. All I know is, Elena, which was, Jane, she only had one bullet left, because they ended up getting, pretty much, forced into going into their safe room and, fending for their life, their last few moments together. John's been shot. Michael's been shot, so he's bleeding pretty bad. He has no bullets, and yeah, the Mrs. Smith of the Smith #2s are right there at the door waiting on their ass. Mr. Smith, he ended up getting shot in the eye and shit. I don't know what the fuck he on. They didn't even show him after that point. His dumb ass got caught slacking. Got caught slacking by Elena, Jane, Mrs. Smith. So who knows? But yeah. All around, I'll give this episode. I mean, not this episode. I'm sorry. This series as a whole, a rating of. Let's go with 6.5. 6.7. 6.7. Matter of fact, I'll do a 6.8. 6.8. A little bit closer to 7 out of 10. Because it had its moments. It really did. It was promising. It was very promising at some points, but overall, I'm just, like I said, I'm tired of these reboots and series getting made and of older shit that was deemed great in our pastime, that they're trying to resurface back to the to the current timeline we're in now. And yeah. But yeah, there you have it, guys. Like and subscribe, support the motherfucking corp. Leave some comments. Let me know your guys' remarks on this Prime series, and I will be back later on. No, I'm sorry. not later on. Tomorrow with True Detective. So stay tuned for that. And with that, I will say, toodles.